Welcome everybody to the Temple of Clarity in Vista, California. Do you get the feeling something very beautiful is about to happen? Always. Do you get that feeling right now? Something is about to happen. Here we do a stillness meditation. It takes willpower to remain still. It takes a strength and a mindset to go beyond time and to peer behind what we believe is reality. Through stillness is the door. And it becomes very clear when you will for this experience. Right now, we have time. And it is moving in this flow. And to stop time the time happens when you step out of the mind and see with the eye of spirit. When that happens, there is a connection to source and an influx of energy. Some say Shakti. Some say Holy Spirit. But this energy that comes when you create the bridge, when you stop the mind, when you open the eye of spirit, and through your love and devotion in the language of your soul, you see, you feel, you experience. And this could be the answer of prayer for you. This could be your soul's reason for coming. There is a portal here, right now, where the angels, the cosmic messengers, the teachers of the Christ come from heaven to earth. And as we in the stillness meditation now go to this place, see for yourself. Drink in this light. So we'll have this short meditation now. Before we begin, I'm going to invite my sponsoring masters. In the name of the Christ, I call to you, O Saint Germain, beloved Mother Mary, Lord Christ, beloved Jesus, Lady Clarity, Guru Ma, Great Divine Director, all you perfected souls of heaven, master souls, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, sit with us, meditate with us, release the light of God on earth through us as we now hold this energy for mankind so that all can see, all can know, all can be raised and drink the holy nectar. coming back. We're just going to take a couple breaths. And in this place, you can stop time. So take a moment now to gather your causal body light momentum, all that has been accrued to your light body, through all your lifetimes, through all your givingness in this world and others. And as you tap into that power, ask to stop time. Ask to see the timeless. Do it now. when you're ready, open your eyes. You have traveled far in consciousness, but you have gone nowhere. It's all within you. So we'll have a short break while I set up for Greg. And you're welcome to get water, use the facilities, stretch your legs. It'll just be 5 minutes.
One, two. Hello, check, 1, 2. We are the oneness. Everyone get that? Okay. So far, so good. All right.
I want to welcome Greg Bretz. I've not heard this message, nor has anyone else in the world. This is a first-time release on harmonic sequencing and other esoteric truths.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Beautiful, thank you. So the beginning, where you begin, is the oneness. Once there was a oneness, and one day the oneness said, "What will I become?" And it invented the two-ness. And as soon as there were two, there was purpose. There was reason for being that's unique. And then the oneness and the two-ness wanted to have many of these experiences, so it divided again and became threeness and fourness, so that each of those individual missions and purposes could have many different aspects that could be studied and learned and seen and experienced. And then the oneness could have the perspective of looking at all of those different aspects of that experience and seeing what it meant, which is the fourness. Why does this matter? Because this is the structure of everything. And it's woven into everything that we experience. And when we can understand it, and not just as an idea, but we can feel it, then we can use that feeling to proactively change our relationship with it in the ways that we choose. And so when there was 4, guess what happened next? Weird. 8? Yeah. So that each of those individual experiences could have responses that could be categorized to see how we feel about all those various experiences, and those experiences could be captured and retained so that as everything continues to evolve and grow and try and change and experience, we learn something along the way, and we can use the tools that we've learned to make new things better by following our feelings. And all of that information is neatly stored in these 8 categories, corresponding to those are the origins and the basis of the 8 dimensions of this realm where we live. So we've heard, oh, we live in 3D. And what does that mean? Well, when we're 3-dimensional beings living in 3D, it just seems like that's where you are. And the truth is that that's only part of our consciousness, and that's the part that we identify with. So when I'm in my 3D identity, I call Greg, and I'm having a Greg experience, and I can identify with that and relate to that, and that's wonderful. But at the same time, I'm still part of the oneness. And when I can take my identity as part of the oneness into my Greg experience, Greg has a different set of experiences. And they're much better. So, a question for you all. How many people are excited about living in the 5D world? Or know what that is, or have heard? Okay, well, this will be fun. There is a fairly large group of people who are aware of changes that are going on at this time in this realm, which is there is a ascension and a transition, that we're on the starting edge of opening up the 5th dimension into our experience. What does that mean? It means different things to different people, and a lot of people imagine it like, oh, you know, the icky, competitive, awful, polluted world will go away, and we'll all stand in the field and sing Kumbaya and hold hands, and everything will be great. Yes, but not like we may think, perhaps. And what I want to share tonight is a little bit about what I've learned about the structure of the all, to help us perhaps get a feel for what is happening there and what our part might be in it. So how that purpose and mission that is a part of each of us may be related to creating and expanding and accelerating and improving the world where we live as this new capability becomes available. So what is a dimension really? I'm not going to get all sciencey, and if I get too sciencey, someone raise their hand and say, Greg, you're getting too sciencey. It's a way that information is stored, and it's stored in a range of frequency. So when oneness becomes two-ness, when it divides in two, it creates an electrical gap, a difference, and creates polarity. And that potential energy that's created when the two-ness drops down to a lower vibration provides all the energy for all the creation that will take place. And when we realize that like all the energy that's ever required really is built in. The universe can't run out of energy. So how do you access it? Well, the rules are that we're all creators. Every being is a creator on some level, including a rock or a tree. They just have a different level of or range of creative ability, but as humans we have a lot actually. And the higher our vibration, the more creative capacity we have available to us. If you think of creating something as like making a recipe, so instead of putting in eggs and flour and what have you, what you're putting in is tones from these that are different frequencies and different harmonics. And so the higher our vibration, when we get our vibration to 1,000,000 hertz, we can use all the tones up to 1,000,000 hertz in our creations. And when we get to 10 million hertz, we can use all the tones up to 10 million. Now, why does that matter? Well, one of the rules of how things are is that the higher the frequency, the more the consciousness is aware of its connection to the all. And in our experience, if something is higher vibration, it feels better. So, for example, in the fifth harmonic, there is, if you have a kind of a medium vibration, it is the feeling of feeling connected or relating. When you have a very high vibration, it's the experience of love. Same energy, it's the energy that says, I will allow my identity, what I identify with, to be close to whatever I am interacting with, and that's okay. And when it's low vibration, it creates the absence of that feeling. So if we feel separate, or, ooh, I don't want to be near that, or I don't want to hear that, or I don't want to feel that, that's just in our system the vibration of fifth harmonic that's vibrating low. And why does that matter? Because if we know that, then there's the magic formula about how, if we want to have a higher vibration and feel better, then all we need to do is to learn how to release the low vibration, because then what's left is higher. So how did I get to learn about any of this? I did it the hard way. I got prostate cancer. I don't recommend that for you gentlemen in the audience. Don't do it. But when I was about 40, I was diagnosed, and I went to the doctor, and he told me, good news. There's an 85% chance you won't live the rest of your life being impotent and incontinent. And I said, 85%? That doesn't sound very attractive. And my intuition told me there was another way. And I asked for guidance to show me that way. And what I knew, if I looked around my family tree, my dad's whole side of the family was filled with unhappy, duty-bound men who hated life. And all of them had prostate cancer. And I did the math and said, oh, well, there's an emotional component to that. So that's a low vibration. And so I went back to my meditation practice, and one day, sitting on the beach in Encinitas, my intuition said, instead of going where I always go in my consciousness when I meditate, today I'm going to go twice as high. And I had no idea what that meant or how I would do that, but that's where I was going. And so I did something, and I had an experience, and it was beautiful, and it was powerful. And so the next day, I said, I'm going to do that again. And I kept doing it. And on the 21st day, I had an experience that I would liken to a rocket ship getting to the edge of Earth's atmosphere and suddenly just breaking through, where suddenly there was much less resistance and everything opened and expanded and was just spacious and still in a way that I'd never experienced before. And so I asked, what was that? And what I got was, well, that's you entering the fourth dimension. I said, what are you talking about? And all it meant is that I, through my focus, had been able to raise my vibration to the level where the third dimension ends and the fourth dimension starts. And I had that energetic experience, and I said, well, that's really cool. What? So the other side of the equation was, I knew I had to go down to these low vibrations. And so I got the intuition to use breath work to basically lay down on the floor and hold my breath until my body was telling me, breathe or you're going to die. And then just to relax into that edge and then experience not dying and then taking a breath. And I just told myself that every time I did that, my intention was to go to a lower vibration. And I kept going down and going down and going down. And when I put those two together, what I learned is basically everything that creates something we would say is unpleasant in the human experience is all in the range between 0 and 1 hertz. At 1 hertz, it's above 1 hertz, it's life-sustaining. And below 1 hertz, it's all the stuff that doesn't work. It's all of the energetic memory of the experiences of feeling separate from the oneness. So every time we have that feeling of separation, it gets captured in our energy field. And we say, that was awful, I want to remember that, so I learn how not to do that in the future. Okay? And so our subconscious starts at 1 hertz, and so the first several layers are subconscious, and then comes the unconscious, and then comes the deep dark nasties, where our mind and nervous system says, don't ever go there. There's nothing down there but horrible peril. Asterisk. If we can be holding the overtone, it's called, which is just the reciprocal. I was getting sciencey, 1 over something is the reciprocal. So reciprocal of 10 is 1/10, right? So if I want to go down to a 10th, if I'm holding a vibration of 10, then my heart can be open, and then my nervous system says everything's okay. So if all the sources of all of our discomfort and anxiety and disease is down below 1 hertz, and we have a mechanism to go down there safely and change our relationship with it, then those energies can leave our system, and with them the physical disease or the emotional peril or whatever it is can also leave. So I cured my cancer, much to the surprise of my surgeon. And then it struck me, if I can do this for me, I wonder if I could do this for other people. And so I set myself on the task of learning how to structure my understanding of the field so that I could have a way to do that. And now that's what I'm doing. So, would anyone like to know the easiest way to raise your vibration at any given moment? Okay. So it's really simple, and the great thing is that whether or not you're consciously aware that you're learning it, you're learning it. Because right now, the way I'm communicating it is I'm using the electromagnetic field created by my heart, and I'm broadcasting that, and that's going out over the internet too. So all you people out there on the internet, it's getting to you too. Time and space, we're beyond time and space here. So just know that that's the case. And so this, in the structure of everything, each level is 10 times higher vibration than the level below. Okay? And it turns out that with these 8 core tones, that if you do them in a certain order, it takes less energy to go up the steps. So I call this the golden staircase. And so it's essentially hitting each of the 8 tones on each of the steps. And I'm going to start us at 1 hertz, which is the floor of the 3rd dimension. Okay? And then we'll do the 8 tones on the first level. And then the second level, that's 10, that would be 100, the 100 hertz level. And then the third level, 100, 10 times that is 1,000. Okay, keeps going. Okay, so everyone ready for the order? Here comes. Everybody get it? Okay, so just know that on the background while we're talking here, this progression is happening, and we're all going up toward the 5th dimension together. Ooh. So what the heck is the 5th dimension? Any sacred geometry fans in the crowd? Okay, so turns out that the structure of each dimension is based on 4. The number of levels is 4 times the dimension. So the 3rd dimension would have 12. The first 7 that you are, well, you're familiar with a projection of the first 7 into the 3rd dimension, which is where the chakras come from, right? But so there's 12 layers to the 3rd dimension, and then above that there's the 4th dimension, which has how many? 4 times 4, 16. So the 4th dimension goes up to 10 to the 28th power hertz. That's a 1 with 28 zeros. Big old number. Okay, and then the 5th dimension starts there. And so when people talk, if you hear people talk about, oh, the 5D world, well, I'm not exactly sure what that really means or how that's going to look or what that experience is going to be like. But I kind of know what the boundaries of it feel like. So anyway, so while we're talking, that's all going on in the background, and we're all going together, which helps, right? So whether we're conscious of it or not, we set the intention. Like right now, we're on the 3rd step. Everybody on the 3rd step? Don't worry about it if you don't know if you are. You're on the perfect step, and you're going wherever you're going as much as you can go, and it's all perfect. So Any guesses what the frequency of the planet is right now? No. No, it's a beautiful guess. The actual truth is that right now it's about 10.2 hertz. Okay, and to give you some setting, back in like 1968, it was about 6.8 hertz. So in that 50 years or so, it's gone up a couple of hertz. So you might... Well, Gaia is large. Gaia is got a lot of mass, and so the entire system is moving to a higher vibration, and that's what's going to allow the system eventually to become a place where the fifth dimension is experienceable. So if you all heard about the Mayan calendar in 2012 and that whole thing, that was all looking at the same thing, that what was supposed to happen then, by then, was that the Earth was supposed to get to 1 trillion hertz, which is that difference, the gap between the third and the fourth. And spoiler alert, we didn't make it. And that's okay. My information is that there is a second window, that's the winter solstice of 2024, and that we are back on track to make that one, which is great, whatever that means. But the key is feeling our relationship to these various aspects of ourselves, being able to feel them in our body and relate to them, so that we can move through a wider range of our being consciously, and we can also proactively work to make more spectrum of ourselves available, essentially. So that's a whole lot of words. Yes, question?
What is the source of the increase of this vibration? What is the source of the increase of this vibration?
It is the evolution of this realm. So
it's happening automatically?
Yes. One way to see what is happening is that the universe is exploring a certain set of version of experiences, and it's going to go through all of those iterations, and when all those iterations are done, this universe is going to collapse through a black hole and come out the other side, and the whole process starts again. And so again, this process of exploration and experience is all sort of self-funded by the structure of energy in the universe. So it uses its own energy to create this set of things. And since, if you will, the process of creating something where a range of frequency where something physical is possible, where we are right now, right, where we are sharing space, is essentially stepping down from the high level of the pure oneness. Well, the path of the whole process is to essentially unfold a whole version and then fold it all back up with all the things that have been learned and experienced, and then take that into the next, to another universe. And so, actually what I've been shown is that the eightness actually turns into 16ness, And what the purpose of those things are is to tie ourselves to all the universes that have come before and to set the seeds for the universes that are coming next, to incorporate what's been learned in this version. So we're always, the natural direction of the universe is always toward oneness, toward it's the ongoing further realization of the oneness of itself in more aspects. And that looks like releasing the energetic remnants of when the universe felt separate and reaching for and recovering the higher vibration, which holds the greater truth of the oneness. And if you think, I look at it this way, that what we're actually doing down here in the density is we are learning, it's like settling a new territory. So we opened up this lower band of frequency, and then we all like muddled around in it, trying to learn to survive, to get some set of beings to get above 1 hertz, get something that worked, right? And then slowly consciousness is able to build itself into more higher vibrational forms that then can go about actually like mining in the separation to heal it and release it. So I look at, I tell my clients, it's like, think of it metaphorically like you're in a hot air balloon. And the low vibration is like a sandbag. And so the buoyancy of the universe is always beckoning us up to higher vibration. That's its nature, because it's us returning to us. And that's where we're all going to end up. Right? And so when we cut off the low vibration, it's like we naturally rise. Can you feel that? So the healing part is fun. Because I call what I do frequency healing, because I work directly with the frequency. So part of what I have learned, I'll tell you a little bit more of my story. I used to be a numb guy. For the first 4 decades of my life, I was a very capable, very successful, outwardly, everything was great. But I really dealt with the fact that I was creating a life based on fear of not being good enough by shutting down my feelings. And that broke open, and I had an experience a little bit after the initial experience with the cancer where I went from being very numb to having my nervous system be so sensitive that I couldn't walk to the end of the driveway to pick up the mail without getting freaked out. Like, whoa. If you remember the movie Spinal Tap, where they talked about turning the volume, that only went from 1 to 10 up to 11. I felt like my nervous system was on 11 and I couldn't control it. Everything was overwhelming. Which took a couple of years actually to be able to learn to drive the Lamborghini without crashing into the fence every time. But the result is that I ended up with I have a very sensitive nervous system, so I can feel frequency accurately, like you can read a thermometer to know what temperature it is. So, which is a fun little parlor trick. It's and it's fun because I meet somebody and how you meet someone and you say, ooh, well that well she feels good, or he feels great, or he feels kind of iffy. Well, I can put a number to that. Ooh, Nordstrom, fourth dimensional feel. Right, Kmart, ooh, lower third dimension. Anyway, and it also means that I am able to step back into, raise my vibration so that I can access my fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth dimensional selves in the range, because all of that range of range of energy holds information. And so, if we can vibrate with the frequency level, then it's part of us, and we can ask questions. So, like what I learned to do is, someone came to me and said, "Oh, I'm suffering from PTS from the war. And I've been to, all these doctors, and they tell me, here, take this drug, or just do the best you can, because we don't know what to do with this." Well, what's the root of that, I asked. And it's, the trauma had led to a triggering of a low vibration in that person's sixth harmonic, which is the harmonic of peace. It's our relationship with everything that we say is not I, right? Where I say, oh, when my sixth harmonic is high vibration and open, I'm okay. The world's okay. I'm okay in the world. Everything's good. I'm at peace. Okay? Low vibrational sixth is mildly would be anxiety. I'm not okay. I don't know what it is, but I can't relax. Something's wrong. I have to fix it. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Right? And if you keep going down, just extend that lack of peace, and you get a sense of what someone with PTS deals with. And I'm going to tear up because it's hard to feel. Their nervous system and their mind is telling them on an ongoing basis, there is nothing you can do to be safe. There is no safety. The world is a dangerous and horrible place, and no matter how much you try and get on top of it, you never will. Have a nice day. And that's what they live in, because they have experiences that trigger them down into those vibrations. And so the good news is that curing that is no harder than curing mild anxiety. Someone who comes to me and says, "Gosh, I wish I was more fun at parties," right? Which is nice, right? But it's the same, because the only difference is how deep we have to go in the vibration to clear it, which is just a matter of, it might be 2 sessions instead of 1. But curing something like cancer or MS, those are just the physical results, and they look like bad, horrible diseases that no one would want. But energetically, it's just a matter of there's a misunderstanding. There's an experience of perceived separation that, out of the goodness of keeping us alive, our mind and nervous system says, there's a problem here I got to solve. I can't forget this feeling of separation, because if I don't solve it, I'll be dead. And I don't want to be dead. And so we create experiences where we get triggered into those vibrations over and over and over again. And over time, that becomes either chronic illness or chronic unhappiness, or when that happens, what we do naturally, just like if you had a live electrical wire, what do? You ground it, right? To keep so the charge can be spread out and absorbed by the density of the earth, right? So we do the same thing. When we get triggered into a negative emotion, we push it down. We try to push it out of our conscious awareness where it feels awful, and we push it down into our subconscious, and then we fill up the racks down there, and when a layer gets filled, we just push it down to the next level, which is how these things get way down into these low numbers. So something like cancer might go down to 10 to the minus 132nd hertz, which is a ridiculous number. But that's where it is. So you just go down there, and you have a reunion. And you go, oh, this looked scary and separate. Well, that's just because I was in fear. And now I can be with that energy with my heart open, and I know that everything's okay. This is just a really dense place. And what I love is, it's analogous to, like, if you could go into, the worst inner city and create something beautiful. It's so much more powerful than starting with a blank slate for me. Because it then can be a beacon for all the suffering around it to go, look, it can be different. Right? And that's what going down into the depths and realizing this is not horrible. We just had a misunderstanding. And we can go down and we can proactively clean it out. And when we do, the lower the vibration is, and the more that energy is accumulated, the more we pop up. Okay? So my purpose on the planet is, at least a big part of it is, I'm here to find the people that want to, like, do something amazing. Like, make life much different, much better. And whether that looks like, well, I don't have terminal cancer anymore, I feel better, right? Or whether that's, I'm here to do, spiritual practice to help uplift humanity, or I'm here to, work with inner city school kids, or whatever it is. But to help those people, in particular, raise their vibration a lot, so they can bring that higher vibration into all of those creations, because that's where the leverage is. At least that's the way my consciousness sees it, and I don't know if it's true, but it's not wrong. It's right enough. It's what I'm being shown, so I'm following directions. And so, if you find yourself saying, yeah, I wish life would be very different in whatever aspect that is, in terms, and again, I know a lot of people that are in your group are very oriented toward their spiritual path, which is awesome. And one way that I've experienced accelerating a spiritual path is raising one's vibration, because that just gives you more of the divine you to relate to and identify with. Yes.
Oh, no, I was trying to see the clock, so I was blocking out the light. Sorry.
Okay.
What was the question? Great job, Edward.
Okay. Thank you. So, if that's your gig, and you just like, I want to be as I want to be as much in the oneness as I can. Well, then the question we can ask in the universe on your behalf is, well, then what are the things that we need to move out of the way that will give you the greatest leap up?
I got a question about going down and clearing the old stuff that you do.
Yes.
And you use your heart chakra.
Yes.
And how does that, in your experience, how does the heart chakra facilitate that?
Okay. So, in addition to being a really cool blood pump, the heart is also a powerful electromagnetic engine. So, when our heart is open and it is vibrating, what it actually does is it sends out vibrations which sense what is around it, or what is there, or what is, and then looks for ways electromagnetically to unify and harmonize. Unify and harmonize. That's what the heart does. So, if you walk into a room full of friends and you're giving everyone a hug, and you know how that feels, one of the reasons that feels good is that the experience of your heart going, Oh, I can be open around these people. Oh, I can be really connected to these people. Oh, I'm safe. This is awesome. I love these people. Right? And your heart then sends that signal out, and guess what happens? All the hearts start to vibrate on a common set of harmonics, and we experience that as unity. Oh, I feel so connected to y'all. Right? And we've all had that experience, right? As well as the antithesis of that experience of like when, the person who's the turd in the punch bowl walks into the room and suddenly the vibration of the room, there's a disruption in the force, right? And suddenly that, can go away. Well, that's just because what they're broadcasting is not in harmony, and it can break the break the harmony. So literally the instruction that I give to my heart is I just ask Spirit, show me the tones that are needed here, and let me be the broadcaster. And the truth is, I don't heal anybody of anything. No, my truth is that no healer heals anybody of anything. Everyone heals themselves, and we just provide, my job is to create an environment where that's easy. And so my heart plays a tune, and the way that hearts work, I don't know that this is another experience you might have had. Anyone ever been in like a clock shop where there are lots of pendulums? Okay, well, there's one down in Encinitas on El Camino. It's a worthwhile spiritual experience. Anyway, if you go in there, all the pendulums are synchronized. And you think, well, that's weird. Except when you know the physics. And then it's not weird at all, because the deal is that in the corner there's a grandfather clock with a big old pendulum that's creating a big old electromagnetic field. And the way it works it's called entrainment. And so the biggest field brings all the others in harmony with it. Right? It's the same phenomenon that sorority sisters often get their cycles in sync. Right? Based on whoever the alpha is. or whatever. But it's just a fact of how energy works. And so, my job is to create a field of high vibration, and then essentially invite my client's heart to say, you want to feel better? Yes. Okay, well, repeat after me. Tone, tone, tone. And so it is.
So when you use the tones, do you inwardly chant, or is it?
I do not chant. The spectrum of tones is way beyond. If you think of like the auditory and the visual spectrums are really teeny tiny and narrow relative to the whole spectrum. So the part of what I did in my training, and you can do this too, it's really fun actually, you can train yourself to be sensitive to frequency. And the way that you do it is that you start with a low place, and then you go all the way to a high place, and then you go to the middle. And then you go to the middle of the bottom and the middle of the top. Okay? So if you think of that in terms of singing a note, right? And the thing is, you then develop a feel for how big that space is. Okay? And if you keep making the division smaller, you can get more and more accurate. So, like, I can tell you that the Temple of Clarity has a vibration of 10 to the 18th hertz, which is pristine and beautiful, high, mid, fourth dimensional tone. It's a and you know that because you walk in here and it feels awesome. Right? So that's how awesome. You created an amazing vibrational space here, and you can feel it.
Going back to the tones, you know, so it's a new. I've kind of meditated on this similar things. I use a different kind of language to describe it, but in your heart, you are releasing these tones, Greg?
Releasing is a good word. Yeah, because it is a letting. It's just a letting. It's a letting go. It's actually passing through me, because I'm not consciously like going, you know, like if I was singing a song and thinking about changing the level of my voice, there'd be a level where, as an amateur singer, I'd have a lot of like thought about that. Am I on pitch, right? And this is, I completely release it. I just say, let me be the vessel. You know, bring through the tones, and then I check. If any of you are familiar with kinesiology or muscle testing, it's really cool if you can step back and then ask the information of the universe, and be in harmony with the higher vibrations where the information is. You can then ask it questions like, did we get it all? Yes or no? How far are we in today's session? Oh, we're 57% of the way through. We're 97% of the way through. So I don't have to know all the specifics of things that have been done. I just know we're going to work in this range, and I set the process going just like we set the process going of escalating the vibration in the room, and then it can just happen in the background, and my heart knows how to do it, and I don't have to babysit it. So my job is to be with the person I'm working with to help them relate to the experience, which is different for different people. Some people, about half the people that I work with can feel a physical sensation. So, like right now, I'll just work some energy, and if you feel this in the front of your second chakra, you might feel a little bit of tingling. Okay, and again, about half the people do, and half the people don't. It's not a good or a bad or a right or a wrong. It's are you in tune with it or aren't you? And either way, it works. Whether you realize it in your conscious mind, your higher self knows. So, the one other thing that I'd like to there's actually two other things I'd like to just convey, and then happy to take any questions or go wherever you'd like from there, or wrap up, whatever we want to do. But I wanted to...
There's a question online when we come to it.
Beautiful. Why don't we...
Go ahead.
Okay. So what I wanted to do just basically is just to give you all a visceral feel for the different information that's in each of the 8 harmonics. So you can just feel and relate to yourself as that. Okay? So here we go. So first harmonic is where we keep all the information about our relationship with the oneness. Okay, so there's a part of us that is Greg or Lori or Dave or whoever we identify with, right? And then there's a part of us that is the oneness, and there is a relationship there. Okay, so when first harmonic is high vibration and open, it is that feeling of I'm in the flow, I'm part of the one, I'm taken care of, I'm safe, I'm provided for, I'm supported, all is well. And again, the lack of that is the feelings of I'm unworthy. There's something wrong with me. There must be some reason why God has abandoned me, and those sorts of feelings, and then the sorts of conditions that follow that kind of thinking. You can start to imagine. How does our body respond when we tell it you're not, or when it is told by itself, by this energy, you're not supported. You're not taken care of. You're on your own. How do you feel? Okay? Second harmonic is, again, our relationship to our two-ness, which is ourself as creator and ourselves as the purpose and the mission of that creation. Right? That oneness to two-ness, that's the two-ness that's in the second harmonic. So when that's high vibration and open, we feel, powerful and clear. It's where clarity comes from. It's like, oh yeah, I know my purpose. I know what I'm here for. Let's do it, right? So what's the low vibrational two-ness? Well, that's feeling stuck, trapped, confused, powerless. And in many ways, there's no deeper pain other than separation. It's probably the deepest pain. But I don't know what I'm here for. I don't know why I exist. Is a pretty scary place to be. And so that's what can live in low vibrational two-ness that can be lifted again to, I think of high vibrational two-ness as like, if you're going to create something, you sort of start with an idea. Oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? And then you eventually get down to the specifics. But when you're in that broad brush state, like if you're planning a vacation and you start with, well, do I want a beach vacation, or do I want to go to see museums, or do I want to, or whatever it is, right? So you start with those broad brushes, and depending on what you do at that level, it creates different possibilities at the specifics, okay? So that's the two. Threeness is our relationship to ourselves as all possibility. So when we say, I'm going to do something, then I just visualize like this giant pantry with just shelves and shelves and shelves and shelves of ingredients. And I sit there and I go, what do I want to put in this thing? Right? And so when we're in high vibrational threeness, that feeling is creative. It's just like everything's easy, everything's obvious. Like, let's just do it, baby. There's so many things. Wow, I can't wait, right? And then low vibrational threeness is the absence of that. I can't. I don't know how. I can't see it. I'm tired. Give me a cocktail. Right? Or what's the point? Why bother? And again, you can just feel the human conditions that come out of that. Okay? Fourth harmonic is our sense of individuated self. So if third harmonic and third dimension is the world of every, fourth dimension and fourth harmonic is the world of each. Okay, so it's identifying myself as the individual creation, the Gregness. Okay, so when my fourth harmonic is high vibration, I feel great about me. I feel awesome. And when it's low is when I'm in self-judgment and self-deprecation and self-limitation. And it's really common also when we have things going on in other harmonics that we personalize it. This is happening because I'm stupid, or this is happening because I'm ugly, or whatever it is, and I make fourth vibration things to make it personal to me, and that's another way that I can get trapped in my own limitation. Okay. 5 through 8 are different aspects of our relationship between that individuated self and what we say is everything that's not me. Okay? So the first one we've talked about, which is the fifth harmonic, is how open to connection am I willing to be? Will I let myself be close to the other? Is that safe? So when it's high vibration and open, it's our experience of love or loving connection. And when it's low vibration, it's feeling separate, feeling closed, buffered, thinking, if I keep it in the next room, I'll be okay. And that leads to, again, translate that into the body. If energy needs to flow freely, and there are signals in the body saying, well, keep those things separate at all costs, especially in brain chemistry. Like, oh, there's something I definitely don't want to face. Well, that creates a lack of energy flow that then turns into psychosis and disease. Okay? Sixthness, we've also talked about, which is another aspect of that connection, which is that how willing am I to let essentially the edges where I am connected to everything else be open and fluid. So not how much space, it's kind of a different feel, but it's, so again, when I'm at peace, the world could be whatever it wants. And I'm just like walking through the world and everything's okay. Okay? And then when I feel less that way, then I'm telling, again, the energy in my body is telling me I need to change something, fix something, stop something, start something in order to be safe. And of course the trick to that is that when we're in that low vibration, guess what we can never find? We can never find that feeling of safety because that's not where it is. As long as we're down in that vibration, we feel how that vibration feels. And so it's a self-fulfilling trap. And again, if you just feel the extremeness of low vibrational sixthness, which is the experience of chaos. The world is a completely random, completely dangerous place, and no matter what you do, you're screwed. Okay? Seventh harmonic is our relationship to ourselves as basically all of the resource in the universe. So when it's high vibration and open, it's our experience of freedom. So imagine the freedom of, oh yeah, whatever I want to create, whatever I need is instantaneously, effortlessly available to me, and I can just go create whatever I want. That's freedom. Okay? What's lack of freedom feel like? Well, lack is a good word, right? And how do we feel if we don't feel like we have access to those things? Well, I feel less creative now. I don't even want to feel good about what I want to create because then I'm just getting my hopes up and I can't do it. Or I'm just going to be frustrated by what I don't have. And this is really fascinating. The disease is, because the extreme version of this is we become so afraid we won't have access to energy that we actually stop the flow of energy in our system. So like diseases that are based on like poor circulation or poor digestion are rooted often in seventh harmonic because you're essentially got part of your consciousness is saying, whatever you do, don't let things flow because we'll run out. It's also why we age. Okay? And the last one is essentially our experience of our individuated self. It's kind of like putting the other ones all together, and it's when it's high vibration, it's our experience of joy. So where joy comes from is, I am getting to be fully me, and the more I'm me, the better it goes. Okay, I feel pretty joyful, right? Now, what's lack of 8? Lack of 8, well, it starts out as sadness. Oh, I can't be me. Or, me doesn't seem to be working out very well here. The feedback I'm getting from my universe is, I'm not very much appreciated at this time. Aw. Right? And then really low vibrational 8-ness is hopelessness. I'm afraid I'll never feel joy again. So, my invitation to you is just to feel into your life and feel like which of those would you like to turn your knob up to 11? Or where can you feel being pulled down and being limited? Because that's a place where you can drop some of those sandbags and create that reality for yourself. And if I can help, I would love to do that. And so the last thing here is the way that works. I do work with people in person, but I do 99% of my work over the phone because it's independent of time and space. So we just get on the phone and we work the energy, and Spirit breaks it into 45 to 60-minute modules perfectly every time. We don't have to do anything. It works out that way. And so we can just sit down and talk about what your attention is, and then Spirit can tell us what we need to clear and how many sessions it will take. And then we get on the phone and do it, and then you get to go out and be happier. The last thing I wanted to share about was specifically about COVID, because that's been on a mind or two here lately. So a couple things to share. One is let the conspiracists go wherever they go. The information that I have is that the purpose of the virus has a very important purpose. Gaia as a planetary system needs to clear a specific set of low vibrational frequencies, and a virus is a biological tool that she has at her disposal to do that. And the way that it works is when one particular frequency gets to be too much of the total of the low vibrational frequencies, a virus is created to get it down back into range. And so COVID is here to help lift 7 specific frequencies that have to do with, ironically, feelings like, I'm not okay and safe in the world. It's not okay to be near other people. So all the things that we fear about the virus are the very frequencies that it is here to help Gaia lift. So, if you or someone you know would like to have peace that they will not get COVID, and they are either they don't feel good about the vaccine, I can do a session to lift the frequencies out of your body, so then you could inhale it, but it would never engage with your system, so you couldn't get sick. So that is available. The other thing that's available is if you know someone who actually gets COVID, before they get really sick, I can do a procedure that essentially works with the body to be so uncooperative with COVID that it loses its sense of purpose and dies. And it takes about 10 hours. So especially if someone is going to go into the hospital and really have a time of it, or if they're in an endangered group, if you think they'll be open to it, relief can come quickly. So that is there, and that's...
You ready for a question online?
You bet.
Comes from Albania. To bring complete healing to a patient, do you align their electromagnetic axis with the Earth's?
Okay. There are kind of two different questions, or at least I'm feeling two different answers there. What brings healing to my client is to clear the frequency that's causing the imbalance all the way down to its root. So one of the things, there's lots of beautiful energy work, and there's lots of beautiful emotional work of things that people do that are just amazing, and some of those things can only go as deep as they can go. And so they can bring some healing, and sometimes they can bring enough healing that the immune system can then take over and everything will be okay. I'm able to easily go as deep as you need to get to all the way to the end. So that's what brings the healing. The other answer I would have is that what I do in a session is the particular configuration of my consciousness is open at the top, is the best way I can describe it. And what it means is that I can kind of park my consciousness over to the side and then ask for the other person I'm working with to have their consciousness reflected in my body, so that I get, if there's something going on in the second chakra, I'll get a tingle in my second chakra. And I can say, oh, there's something going on in the second chakra, and then I can ask, what is it, to see if there's information that we need. So that's how that's sort of how the process works. But that's just sort of, that's the access. Because I don't, some people are clairvoyant, they see things, or they're clairaudient, they hear things, and that's beautiful, and I'm kind of jealous, because sometimes that feels like that would be easier. Well, I'm clairsentient, so I just feel, and I don't want to say just. The amazing thing about feeling is that it's really sensitive. There are feelings that there are not words for, or symbols for. And so the beautiful thing about my gift is it can be very deep and detailed. And I'm grateful for that.
Beautiful. Any questions here? Vincent? I saw you, or are you just scratching your head?
Well, beautiful. Well, thank you so much. And I guess I would like to also share my gratitude. Dennis said at the outset.
One more question came in,
huh?
Just in the nick of time. I think it's from Chloe. Would he be going against divine will if we prevent people from getting or healing people from COVID?
No. And one of the reasons for that is I never work with anyone the first question I ask is this to the highest good and in alignment with divine will? And if the answer is no, then even if it's your kid and they're dying, I'm sorry, I don't do it. And the thing is that the only people that will be cured are the people whose higher selves are ready to transcend the lesson. And that's also part of the reason that I don't have a website and I don't advertise. This is actually in alignment with what I wanted to share. I've been up in my own little world doing this exploration for 19 years. And the guidance has been stay in the cave, do what you do, and the time will come. But this is the first time I've ever spoken publicly about this. So thank you for that. Imagine holding a secret for 19 years. It feels great to share it. And if there are other questions that you have, either specifically or if something that you're just curious, is this something that could be healed for you or for a friend, Dennis will reach out through me through Facebook, or the Dennis's.
Yeah, the phone number is also in the chat.
Great, and I'm happy. Consultations are free, so you can just call and say, hey, what about this? Including, hey, can my daughter get COVID? Because I can look at her energy signature and tell you. And I am happy to do that. That's part of why I'm here. So.
Well, thank you so much for coming, Greg. I want to say that I felt your heart. I felt the transmissions. The tones, I don't know if I don't it's bigger than that word. It seems like it's such a beautiful, holy frequency that was coming through. And there's a beautiful understanding I never heard expressed that way, actually. It's, but I'm trying to understand energy and, and God is energy, and God is the source of the energy and beyond the source of the energy. And to have kind of like it laid out like that as frequencies and stuff like that. I will also, people on YouTube, I will put the information in the chat, so hang on for a minute while I do that.
And just one quick thing, Dennis, on what you just shared there. If anyone has any doubt as to, like, did I make it to 5D? How high did I go? Did I get lost? Did I get distracted? How did that work? Simply, my invitation to you is simply set the intention of solidifying that golden staircase in your consciousness. Just ask your higher self, show me how to do this. It's in there, right? You know it, even if you don't know that you know it, because it's in here. And so if like Dennis, like, well, I'm not sure. How did that go? I don't have any feedback. Well, just then say, please, it's like doing calisthenics. I want to continue to do it so that it gets stronger. Please show me, and it will happen. And if you want, you can also call me, and I can tell you how high you got, and we can explore what happened. So.
God bless you, everybody on the broadcast. I'm going to type in the information here right now, and his phone number and email. Is this on here, Greg? No.
Yes. That's not it. My card's on your.
That's the wrong one. Here it is. Okay. It's a good thing I put my glasses on. Anyways, what a beautiful evening. We'll be broadcasting again tomorrow for the Divine Mother Worship Service. And on Thursdays, we're having a Zoom meeting studying the book Angels, Angels, Angels. And if you're interested in that, you can contact Lisa Delaney or me, and I'll connect you to the Zoom account where we do that on Thursdays at 7 o'clock. And to close, let's just close our eyes for one moment, one holy moment. And in the wholeness, in the oneness that we all are, we all come from the one light, the source. And all these high understandings that are being revealed to us in this golden crystal age of Aquarius, this new dawning of this beautiful frequency of the brotherhood, the sisterhood. We send this light to every single person, this frequency, this light. And we lift up the name of John Sands, who's in the hospital or in a nursing home right now. And I see you, my friend, in this light, in this frequency, in this oneness. God bless you, each one. And let's all dedicate ourselves into raising our vibration, not just for ourselves, but for our families, for our friends, for our communities, for the earth herself, that all life may be free in this joy field of God consciousness. Amen and amen.
Amen.
Thank you again, everyone, for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Ooh.